All right, everyone. So this is Madison. She's on my team.
Hello.
Um, hello. So we're just gonna be doing like an interview type thing where I'm just gonna be asking Madison some questions about the business, and just kind of overall, how she got involved and kind of that. So first question, yeah, number one question is how did this opportunity come into your life?
Okay, so basically where I was at that point in my life, I had just kind of left a previous opportunity. It was an MLM company, so it wasn't something that I really resonated with. Like, I loved the whole like business mindset aspect, and it totally like put me on a different path of like realizing that there are other ways than just a regular 9 to 5 lifestyle. So totally am like here for that side of it, but it just the environment, the culture, the products I didn't connect with on a personal level. So I ended up, wanting to leave that. And I really felt guilty there for a while. Like I had made the wrong decision. I was like, okay, well, I know I don't want that, but now I'm back here on Monday at my 9 to 5 and I have no plan again. So I was like, I have to do something different. So that's when I really kind of started keeping my options open again.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually was online one day and I was just scrolling on Facebook and I came across this post from a girl named Cheyenne, and she was 20 years old, like living her best life, literally like backpacking through Europe. I was like, what is going on? Like, this is crazy. And it was so weird because it was right when I had kind of made the decision and told myself, okay, we're not settling. Just because you left that opportunity does not mean that we're done looking. So it honestly felt like it really did feel like the universe kind of put it in front of me and I couldn't ignore it. So I reached out to her and I was like, okay, what is this? Like, how are you able to travel the world? You're freaking 20 years old and you're doing this all online. Like, what's going on? So
she started right after her first year of college. So yeah, that's really soon. That's really soon.
No, I was crazy. So yeah, I reached out to her and just kind of like asked her how she was able to do all that. And she told me about the system that we're in now. And I immediately dove in. Like, I was ready. I already knew that like, regardless of the circumstances, like financial, whatever, like I knew I was going to go all in instantly and I wasn't going to turn it down. I didn't want there to be any chance that that opportunity was going to leave, because I was like, this is too like gold. Like, this is just awesome. Like, I really felt like I had like found something that was super rare, which I still think it is. So that's how I
like think of it as like the golden ticket.
Oh my gosh, literally, like it was the craziest thing. It felt too like, I don't know, like perfect timing. It really did. So.
I mean, like, yeah, I feel like almost everyone says that about this. Like,
I know, it's weird because we're all kind of like in that mindset. So
yeah, all on the same wavelength.
No, I love it.
So going back to your like the old platform of the MLM that you were doing, how much did you initially invest in for that? Like, if you don't mind me asking, because I do kind of like.
Yeah. Oh, no worries. So there really wasn't an initial investment. It more so was one of those where at like the end of the month, everyone's kind of stressing to get their.
So it's like a
monthly
quota type thingy.
Exactly. Okay. Yes. So on average, it was probably about, just on that side of things, which was the products that like the inventory that we had to keep stocked up, basically was around $450 a month. And then we were also paying to go to the weekly sessions and then paying for any other like conferences that we would go to, which would be like another $200-300. So yeah, I would say monthly it was about $500 altogether.
And then with a couple occasional.
Right. Yeah.
Travel business, that would be like.
Exactly.
Which most businesses have that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then were you able to do online?
No. And that was one of the things. I mean, it was online because they had their website where they, obviously advertise.
You just send them to the website.
Exactly. There is a link that you would send, like an affiliate link basically. But I mean, there wasn't really anything else that we were doing online. We would reach out to people sometimes, but mostly our kind of way of contacting was literally cold contacting and going out into public, malls and stuff and just striking up conversations and then trying to lead it to business. So that was the thing I didn't really connect. Yeah. The forceful side of things. So
And like when you were saying like your landing link or like your online link, was it really just that? Like, did you have any control of like adding things to that link, or was it just
No. And
like,
that again was
it was really like you didn't have a whole lot of control
right.
over your own
Oh
business
yeah.
type thing?
Everyone's website looked the same. So there was no like creativity
Yeah,
side of it. Yeah.
like that's huge.
I know. And that was a huge part of why I didn't really resonate, because I was like, this doesn't even look like something I would like
Yeah.
put
And
out into.
most of those platforms and most of those kind of structures are all the same like that. Like
Yes.
all of that.
Right.
Which
Which
works
some
for some
people
people.
like. Yeah, exactly. But for me, like I wanted to feel like it's mine, like have
Right,
my
right.
vibe, my aesthetic, and I couldn't do that.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Right. Um, okay, so some of the basic questions. How old are you?
I'm 24. Just turned 24 last month.
Oh, nice.
Ooh,
Happy birthday.
ooh.
And then where are you from?
I'm from Southern Indiana. So I'm right across the bridge from Louisville, Kentucky. So I just tell people I'm from Louisville because no one ever knows where I'm from. But yeah, so right
So
across.
it's kind of a smaller town.
Yeah, it is a smaller town. I mean, it's like a mix of like country and then you've got like some city in there. So it's a
Like,
little,
yeah, it's like yeah,
yeah, a good middle.
yeah.
It's a good hometown. I don't
No,
want to stay here though.
no, I feel you. I feel you. And then let's see. How long have you been doing this?
So I started the end of last summer. So what's that like? 10 months. So a little less than a year, basically, coming up on a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then are you full-time or part-time?
So I do this business part time. So I actually was able to cut my hours in half basically about a month ago.
Yeah, I
Just
saw
yeah,
that.
so that was really exciting. So now I'm able to put a lot more time into this, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And so your rank is a 2A, correct?
Yep, 2A. Correct. Moving up.
When it comes to like how hard you had to work for that, like would you say this is kind of a hard question to ask, but like would you say the beginning felt a lot harder than it is once you got in the groove?
Definitely. And I've been thinking about that so much lately. Like at first it can be overwhelming, just like with any new thing that you start, any new opportunity. But I think once you kind of give yourself like the freedom and make that decision, like I'm going all in with this, like I'm not looking back, that's when things really start to change. Because like I was telling you before, I my first couple months, like I didn't take it seriously. I just wanted to be a part of it, but I wasn't ready to fully commit. And I knew that going in, but I was just so excited about it. I just went ahead and registered. But it did take me a few months, and going through the basics of like the training and everything, like there is a lot. But I think just giving yourself like patience and grace and being like, okay, we're just going to get one thing done a day, and then like eventually some traction starts to build, snowball effect, and then you get more excited about it. The things start to click in your head more, and you get to find your own groove. And once you start finding like the direction you kind of want to take, it's so much more fun because there's like creativity and all of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that stuff.
You're focused on the right things, definitely.
Exactly. Right. And now I have more of an idea of like what I want to do. So it's so much easier now than just trying to put all the pieces together and you don't know which is important. So
Right.
yeah.
So you've been doing it a little less than a year. How long would you say it took you to get into that groove?
Let's see. Well, probably 3 months, I would say. Like the first 3 months, like yes, I was involved and I was around, but like I said, I wasn't fully committed and I didn't like have my heart.
Learning.
Yeah, and there's a lot that's getting
Yeah.
thrown at you. So, and everyone has different starting points. Like some people come into this and they've done something similar with social media, or they've been involved with some type of opportunity. So everyone has different starting points. Some people get in and they're ready to go like right off the bat. There's some people who are kind of like hermits and then they come out of their shell. And then there's some people who are just like, going at their own pace. So it really just depends on the person. But just due to my like life circumstances at the time, I'd say it took me like 3 to 4 months to really like get into it. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's very like normal too.
Yeah, definitely. No rush on anything. Cause like I said, everyone's got different situations going on. So
Yeah. Yeah.
right.
What's your favorite part about the whole business?
My favorite part, I have like two favorites. My favorite is definitely the potential of this business, because it is online and we are kind of, I don't want to say like vague, but like we definitely leave it open to like you kind of taking lead of your business and you choosing the direction that you want. And I really appreciate that. Like I said, coming from an opportunity where it is kind of cookie cutter and everyone does it one way and that's the only way to do it. Whereas this business, like you have a little bit more freedom because it is treated like it's your actual business,
Yeah.
not like
And
some.
like I what I like about that as well is like instead of like having to have the obligation to sell products,
Mhm.
you can really just sell your knowledge to help
Right.
people, like especially kind of what I've been trying to kind of do is people that have businesses that they might not be interested in products necessarily, but how to grow their business, especially if they have a similar business to you, how you did it. So
Mhm.
it's like connections and like I think the main thing is the connections.
Yeah. It's
Like
built on something like on a deeper level, which I really value. And I noticed, I feel like I wouldn't have appreciated as much if I didn't go through that previous opportunity to have such an opposite like end of the spectrum. And then now I'm like, wow, like this is so cool because we do have so much freedom. And it is, like you said, based on sharing value and forming like connections with people that you actually want to work with. So
right.
it's
It's like the cool thing is we're like the bridge because we use another like, you know,
right.
product
Third,
affiliate market, but at the same time we have a platform to help people that if they're not interested in that and you already maybe have connections with some of
right,
the MLMs and some of the multi-level stuff that you honestly can just show them the platform to help grow their current business as well, which is really
right,
awesome. And the more you're doing that, the more you also will learn how to incorporate in your own business. So you're like, oh, okay.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
how I'm doing it. It's like, oh,
right. There are so many ways to utilize our platform. Like it's not just one direction. And if you don't resonate with that, then you're out. Like there's something for everyone. There truly is. I know it sounds like cheesy, but it really is somewhere, something for everybody here.
you can fit in the spectrum somewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
What are the topics that I guess your main three topics that you talk about?
Main three topics. Okay, probably business mindset and like motivation directed posts, just talking about because I feel like not everyone has had business background whatsoever, and which is completely fine. Like I didn't before I did the MLM. Like I was just basically serving tables. Like that was all I'd really known before. So to go into something and to have like a whole platform laid out for even the newest to marketing specifically was really cool. So that was probably my first one. And then my second, I talk a lot about like spirituality, manifestation, visualization, so things like that. And they can tie into business too. So I like
Oh,
mixing, yeah, all of those together. And then third is probably just my like opinions on societal norms and how like I'm
no.
totally not for them. Yeah.
I talk about that a little bit too.
Yeah, like I've always questioned like beliefs and
Yeah.
yeah, so just my opinion on that and like our systems that have been in place forever and they're outdated and we're not teaching updated information. That's something I'm really passionate about.
Well, that's shifting.
Yeah,
That's shifting.
it
That's
is.
a lot of what I'm talking about. It's like, oh, I don't know if anyone else is feeling that boat.
Right. Oh, there's a huge shift, especially going on
So
right now. It's scary, but it's exciting at the same time.
it's scary, but yeah, I agree. And it's necessary. Like I know it's like a hard truth
Mhm.
to realize because a lot of, it's not easy shift and it's not for anyone, but at the same time it is a necessary shift and I think it's an eye opener for
Right.
everyone. And
Right.
I think the eye opening needed to happen. So
Definitely. Yeah, I think the
it
shift
brings
has
some
been
great opportunities. So if just thinking on the bright side,
oh yeah.
it's
Everything that we can get done right now. Yeah. And I heard somebody say this the other day, and it's so true. Like, I feel like the shift was inevitable. Like, we know that this digital age was like coming. Obviously, everything that's happened in the
yeah.
last 10 years, social media and everything, and to imagine everything that's going to happen in the next 10 is crazy. And they were like, this is kind of a forced, like, expedited introduction to that new age. And it really is exciting.
It's written in the cosmos.
I know, right? Here it comes.
That's not
I'm
a
ready
crazy
for it.
dent either.
Bring it on.
And one of these questions, I really feel like a lot of people would kind of be wondering is, how does it work for you? Like, how do you approach it? And are you more online space, or do you mix offline and online?
So I'm mostly online right now, but I have started to get more of an interest in offline just because I have become really passionate about our product and the water and everything. So I don't know, like I see a future in both, but right now I'm just choosing to focus on online. I really want to master that and then move to offline once I feel more confident in that. So
Mhm.
yeah, definitely online is what I'm doing right now.
When you do reach out to people, how do you communicate with them? Is it mostly through like messaging, text, or is it like kind of like Zoom, FaceTime type thing?
Yeah, so mostly Messenger, and then if if I don't know, if the time is right, I guess like do a call if they kind of say that they want to do a call, like I'm all for it. Do like a Zoom. But really I would say my main way of like reaching out, communicating with people on the daily is definitely through just Facebook Messenger. So primarily.
Yeah, I feel like that's a really good one, main
Yeah.
one. Um, do people feel comfortable doing Zoom calls and stuff, or is it more like later in the conversation? Does that
Yeah, so
work?
I mean, it depends on the person as well, but I'd say majority of the time, people really just want to stick to kind of just communicating until they feel a little bit more comfortable with you. So I would say like after reaching out to them so many times, then people are way more comfortable with actually seeing you and getting
Yeah.
on a call. Like it's that next step up. So it just kind of depends on the point of the conversation and the person. But yeah, people definitely open up after you've kind of reached out to them and you're not so robotic. I think just talking to them
Yeah.
like a normal person makes them feel a lot more,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
comfortable.
Um, do you have a K8 machine?
I do, and I love it. Slightly, but
What's your overall goal?
my overall goal, I would say just like my biggest mission, you think, like my
Yes.
message.
Yeah, yeah. Especially because I know most of us, it's more kind of using this as a tool type of
Yeah.
thing. So, but some people are really focused in on like the product that we are help affiliate marketing. So it's kind of like, are you focused more business or more kind of
Okay.
utilizing that?
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely more on the end of just really promoting the whole idea and mindset of freedom and just showing people that there are other ways, because I'm kind of speaking to my old self a couple years ago where I didn't ever think that there was another way. Like I really just thought you had to get a job and like that was it. Like that was life. That was adulting, and I never really thought to ever look anywhere else because I didn't think that that was an opportunity for me or like possible for some reason. So I think my biggest message is just to get out to everyday people that there are other ways. And if you aren't feeling passionate about what you're doing currently and you aren't passionate about your life's work, that you are allowed to change it up. You're allowed to look for alternatives. And there are alternatives out there that are legit. Not everything is a scam. Not every opportunity online is automatically something that's sketchy. Like there are other legitimate ways to make an income for yourself and create a life. But I definitely obviously really resonate with the products, which is huge for me. So I think down the road, I might, kind of go down a route where I do promote that as well. But right now it's just getting my message out about the whole freedom thing. Yeah.
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 I would love to touch on that just a little bit, is the mindset that you had, especially like talking to yourself a couple of years ago, because I resonate with that. I feel like most people in the business resonate with that. So I would love to almost tell everyone that's watching this that everyone starts out thinking they can't do this. So
Right.
I'd love to hear kind of your story, why you didn't think you could do it.
Yeah. So I guess when I used to scroll on like social media and see people like living their best life. Like I always just immediately thought, just from old beliefs that either they had just their parents' money or they just grown up in a different life and that's why they were able to do that. But then I started getting into the whole world of digital marketing and realizing there are a lot of people out there who are doing this, like digital nomads. You hear about them all the time. Or just going to like Bali and just, all you need is Wi-Fi. Like that was like a huge like shift for me to be like, oh, okay, like there are other people who think like me out there and they're doing it. Like they're living their best life. Like it's their reality, right? So I think once I like made that realization, that was like a huge turning point for me. But yeah, definitely like when I first started in this business, I kind of thought that anyone successfully working online like through social media was a certain type of person. I thought it was like the influencer type, and that was kind of my only idea of someone working online, like an influencer or a YouTuber, someone like that who just, you know, took pictures, which is fine, like not hating on that, but I just, that was something I never thought I would do. And so I just shut it off for so long. But then getting into the system and realizing there's normal people who are just talking about their everyday lives, like
Don't
sharing.
have a big following.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't have to have a huge following. It's just finding a select like key people who really resonate with your message and who you are and you vibe with. And like that's where you are kind of focusing your attention on. It's just really, like you said, deepening those relationships with people and forming a genuine connection, because so many people just focus on like the flashy cars and like whatever, like that's their way. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought that was all that there was. So realizing that there's a whole other side of the online space where people are just being themselves and sharing positivity and uplifting people and just showing them another way was huge for me. So
Did you feel that shift while you kind of were already in the business or before?
I would say like my first 2 months, because I was I more on the sidelines when I first started out. So I was really just watching other people in the
I like
business.
being like a foot in the water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's how I am like in anything that I start. I kind of observe and just see like what everyone else is doing, and then I kind of act on that. So that's what I did in this as well. I kind of sat back and watched other people's content and just got got more used to being the customer, like on that end of things, being
Right.
the viewer. And then I was able to kind of switch that around and be like, okay, well, what would I want to watch? Because that's kind of who you're directing to anyways. You're directing to people who like what you like because you want to
I'm
work.
right at that switch.
Yeah, exactly. So now it's kind of realizing, oh, okay, cool. Like I can talk about what I want to talk about and what I think my audience would resonate with. And so that was kind of fun for me to have that shift. But yeah, I definitely was like kind of sat back and watched at first and just saw what everyone else was doing. So that helped a lot. Felt more comfortable doing it.
I always say that's my taking notes or my what's the word? I can't even think of the word right now.
I hate when that happens.
Well, I guess it's not that
It'll come to you.
important. It's gonna bug me though. I'm like, oh God, it's bugging me.
It'll come to you right after this
I know,
interview.
right? When I'm like, oh, it's not relevant
Cool.
anymore. Did you tell your loved ones right away about this whole opportunity?
I wouldn't say right away. I think it kind of led into when they would ask me, like, are you still doing the MLM opportunity? And it was kind of like, well, no, but I'm starting to kind of do something else and learn more about this
Yeah.
side of things. Yeah. So that was kind of an introduction, but I don't think they fully still understand what I do. And they probably won't for a while, just because I don't want to be pushy. And like, I wouldn't say I'm hiding it, but it's something that we just haven't.
It can change your mindset
Yeah,
sometimes.
exactly. And I'm kind of in that bubble where I want to really protect like my energy right now. And so they know that I'm involved in something and they know about the water and all of its benefits,
Okay.
but they don't understand really
The
like
whole
how I do it. Yeah.
yeah.
Even if you try and explain, they're like, what?
I'm the same exact way. Like that's exactly how I am. They know
Yeah,
that I'm doing stuff they know about. It's like water, and
right.
my dad actually does like water softening like installations in
Oh,
houses. So
cool.
I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, that does tie into it.
But I haven't like I've kind of talked to him a little bit about it, but not to the point where I'm like, hey, yeah.
Fully open about what it is. Yeah. And I know that they won't understand it until I like were to literally sit them and be like, okay, so this is the process of this. So until that time is like necessary, then we'll wait till then. But they understand like I am involved in something and they know that I'm not for the traditional lifestyle. So
Right.
shocker.
Most millennials really are.
I know, right? It's our generation. I'm proud.
Right? No, yeah. And then last question, what have you learned about yourself?
I think I've learned that for a while, like I really did kind of shut off the side of me that I really enjoy. Like I feel like this part of me that's kind of finally starting to come out again, I kind of put to the side like a couple years ago because again I thought like, oh well, I'm an adult now, like I can't be happy and I can't be weird, but like no, like that's now realizing this business, that's what makes you you, and that's what's gonna make people gravitate towards you, resonate with you, because you have those quirky sides and like you want to show that, and
Yeah.
you know you don't want to have to hide it just because you want to be professional or something, like
I
knowing
think
that.
a lot of people in the business are like the like little kid in their family that's like, you know, like the like real jazzy one, you know what I mean? Like all of us are kind of like that because I know my family, that's definitely
And
me.
you're kind of told to like kind of quiet that side down, but it's
And
like
you're
no,
just like,
that's
no.
part, right? Like that's
Um,
what makes it so unique.
I just
I,
watched a new movie and the first introduction, she's like, I'm a dinosaur, blah, blah, blah. And it's like talking about like student pictures and stuff. And I'm like, I wasn't
same,
fully like that, but that was me. Like, smile. Like, no, I'm not gonna smile. I'm gonna do something fun, something
same,
crazy,
same.
something
I'm
weird.
like that's awkward. That's too normal. I
I
can
know,
do
let's have fun.
that. Right. Why be boring?
And
I
I feel
agree.
like that's the biggest thing that I've like learned, just like you mentioned before, is honestly having fun with this and creating it more kind of like your own, you know, not really a blog, but kind of like a blog to where you're showing and teaching what you learned for others, and then it just kind of flows and you know, just flows and
Right.
it's
Goes
just
the way it's
fun.
supposed to.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of
because
like
I feel like some people have this like traditional idea of like what a business owner is supposed to be like. And again, this was my belief a couple years ago, like thinking, okay, they have to walk around in heels, like a pantsuit, like that's what a business owner is, and that's how they act. But like there are business owners all around the world who aren't like the stereotype, and I love that. And this whole community is just a bunch of like awesome weirdos who have awesome mindsets and like
we
goals.
actually show each other how to get there versus like, well, this, you know what I mean, like
Hush hush, weird.
yeah,
Yeah,
like that
it's
ego
totally
thing, like no one, everyone wants to help each other get to where they are type of
yeah.
thing, which is
And
awesome.
that's huge. You can definitely feel that support. It really is.
Opposite of a corporate.
Right.
Opposite.
Oh yeah. Exact opposite.
Oh
It
yeah.
really.
And like a lot of like leaders I feel like are like, oh yeah, get bigger than me. Let me show you how to get bigger. And I'm like,
Oh yeah. Right.
dude,
Because at that point, like you're just so happy. Like you just want everyone else to experience that as well. And like I'm not even where I want to be, obviously. Like I'm very you know, kind of beginning of what it's going to become. But like I've already got to the point where I just want to show people like you're allowed to, you know, have another way and be yourself while doing it. And like I just want to show so many people this like opportunity, but I have to kind of like contain myself. But it is like it really does feel like a secret that I want so many people to kind of realize is an option for them, and it's a reality. So
it is.
I'm I'm excited about it.
Yeah. Well, that was awesome. Is there anything that you want to add to the whole interview?
Oh, I don't think so, but this is an awesome interview. I had a lot of fun. Those are great questions.